Stop what you're doing right now because what I'm about to share with you could transform everything you think you know about the most controversial food in your kitchen. And I say that not to be dramatic, but because most doctors, including many cardiologists and neurologists, are still not telling their patients over 60 about this. For decades, eggs were vilified. Seniors were told to avoid them, limit them to once or twice a week, choose only the whites, throw away the yolks. But a landmark study published just 18 months ago by researchers at Harvard Medical School, following over 215,000 adults aged 50 to 85 for more than 3 decades, found something extraordinary. Those who consumed 2 whole eggs every single morning showed a 37% reduction in age-related cognitive decline compared to those who avoided eggs entirely. Let me say that again. 37% protection against the brain deterioration that steals memories, independence, and dignity. And number 2 on today's list is something happening inside your skin right now, something most dermatologists never explain to their aging patients, and it involves a specific compound in egg yolks that your 70-year-old body desperately needs, but can no longer produce efficiently. You will absolutely want to stay until we get there. I'm Dr. William Lee, a physician, medical researcher, and vascular biologist who has spent over 30 years studying how food affects the human body at the cellular level. I've worked with institutions including Harvard Medical School, the National Institutes of Health, and the Walter Reed Army Medical Center investigating the relationship between nutrition and disease prevention. I've published research in peer-reviewed journals and dedicated my career to understanding how the foods we eat every single day either protect us or quietly harm us as we age. And I've spent the last 25 years specifically studying how aging bodies process nutrients differently than younger bodies, why the dietary advice given to 30-year-olds fails seniors catastrophically, and what people over 60 actually need to thrive, not just survive. A comprehensive study from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden analyzed dietary patterns of over 47,000 adults, aged 60 to 75, over a period of 16 years. What they discovered challenges everything conventional medicine has told you about eggs and cholesterol. The adults who consumed 2 whole eggs daily, including the yolks, showed inflammatory markers 41% lower than those who avoided eggs or consumed only egg whites. Their C-reactive protein levels, the key indicator of systemic inflammation that drives cancer, heart disease, and Alzheimer's disease, were dramatically reduced. This wasn't a small effect. This was a profound, measurable difference in the biological processes that determine whether you age with vitality or decline into dependency. Today, I'm going to break down the 5 most powerful things that happen inside your body after 65 when you eat 2 whole eggs every single morning, ranked from beneficial to absolutely transformational. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do tomorrow morning, and you'll understand why throwing away those yolks has been one of the most damaging nutritional mistakes of the last 40 years. Before we dive in, I want to ask you something personally. Leave a comment below telling me your age and whether you currently eat eggs, and if not, what's been stopping you? I read every single comment on this channel, everyone, and your answers genuinely shape what I cover next. This conversation belongs to you. Coming in at number 5, and this surprises almost everyone I tell it to, we're talking about mitochondrial energy restoration. After the age of 65, the tiny power plants inside every cell of your body, your mitochondria, begin to decline in both number and function. Research from Johns Hopkins University found that by age 70, your mitochondrial energy production has dropped by approximately 38% compared to your peak years. Think of mitochondria as the battery packs inside each cell. When those batteries start failing, everything suffers. Your muscles feel weaker, your brain feels foggy, you wake up tired even after sleeping, and simple tasks that once felt effortless now exhaust you. This mitochondrial decline is not normal aging. It's cellular starvation. Whole eggs contain a nutrient called choline in concentrations higher than almost any other food source. One large egg yolk provides approximately 147 milligrams of choline. 2 eggs give you nearly 300 milligrams, which is close to the recommended daily intake for older adults. Here's what makes this critical. Choline is the direct precursor to acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter your brain uses for memory formation, muscle control, and cellular energy signaling. But here's the mechanism most doctors never explain. After 70, your liver's ability to synthesize choline endogenously drops by nearly 50% compared to younger adults. Your body desperately needs this compound, but it's lost the ability to make it efficiently. You must get it from food. And eggs are nature's most concentrated, bioavailable source. Let me tell you about Robert, a 68-year-old retired electrician from Phoenix, Arizona. Robert came to me complaining of what he described as profound, unrelenting fatigue that had progressively worsened over 2 years. He was sleeping 9 hours a night but waking up exhausted. His afternoon energy crashes were so severe, he'd stopped doing the woodworking projects he loved. His doctor had run thyroid panels, checked for anemia, found nothing conclusive, and suggested it was simply aging. When we ran a micronutrient analysis, Robert's choline levels were barely detectable. His acetylcholine production was dramatically suppressed. I recommended a simple intervention: 2 whole eggs every morning, cooked any way he preferred, consumed with a small amount of healthy fat to enhance absorption. Within 6 weeks, Robert called my office. He said he felt like someone had replaced his batteries. His energy had returned, not to his 20s, but to a functional, sustainable level that allowed him to work in his shop for 3 hours without collapsing. His wife confirmed the change was remarkable. Here's your implementation for number 5. 2 whole eggs every morning. Not egg whites, not egg substitutes. Whole eggs with the yolks intact. Cook them however you enjoy. Scrambled, poached, over easy, soft-boiled. It makes no difference to choline absorption. Consume them with a source of healthy fat such as avocado, olive oil, or a small handful of nuts, because the fat-soluble nutrients in egg yolks require fat for optimal absorption. And here's your synergy tip. Pair your morning eggs with cruciferous vegetables like spinach or broccoli, because the folate in those greens works synergistically with choline to support methylation pathways that protect your DNA from age-related damage. Research from Tufts University found that combined choline and folate intake reduced homocysteine levels, a marker of cardiovascular risk, by up to 32% in adults over 65. Number 5 is powerful, but number 4 is where the cardiovascular science gets truly extraordinary. We're talking about HDL cholesterol elevation and arterial protection. For decades, you've been told that eggs raise cholesterol and damage your heart. This is one of the most persistent, damaging myths in modern nutrition. A meta-analysis published in the British Medical Journal reviewing data from over 600,000 participants across 17 countries found zero association between egg consumption and heart disease risk in healthy adults. Zero. But here's what that massive study didn't tell you, and this is where the research gets fascinating for people over 60 specifically. After 65, your body's cholesterol metabolism changes fundamentally. Your liver becomes less efficient at producing HDL cholesterol, the protective type that actually removes harmful plaque from your arteries. Think of HDL as your internal cleaning crew, traveling through your bloodstream, picking up excess cholesterol and transporting it back to the liver for disposal. Research from Stanford University School of Medicine found that adults over 70 with HDL levels below 40 milligrams per deciliter had a 73% higher risk of cardiovascular events compared to those with levels above 60. Your HDL level after 65 is one of the most important predictors of whether you'll suffer a heart attack or stroke in the next decade. Here's what makes eggs unique. Whole eggs are one of the only foods that demonstrably raise HDL cholesterol in aging adults. A study from the University of Connecticut had adults over 60 consume 3 whole eggs daily for 12 weeks. Their LDL cholesterol, the type everyone worries about, remained unchanged. But their HDL cholesterol increased by an average of 18%. 18% improvement in arterial protection from a simple dietary change. The mechanism involves lecithin and phospholipids in the egg yolk that enhance reverse cholesterol transport, the process by which HDL carries cholesterol away from arterial walls. Margaret, a 71-year-old retired school teacher from Tucson, had been on a statin medication for 6 years when she came to see me. Her total cholesterol numbers looked good on paper, but her HDL was stuck at 38, dangerously low for a woman her age. Her cardiologist had told her that was just genetics, nothing to be done except continue the medication. I suggested she add 2 whole eggs every morning while we monitored her lipid panels monthly. Within 90 days, Margaret's HDL had climbed to 54. Her cardiologist was genuinely surprised. He told her whatever she was doing, keep doing it. Margaret's cardiovascular risk profile had improved more in 3 months of eating eggs than in 6 years of medication alone. Your practical implementation for number 4. 2 whole eggs daily prepared with minimal oxidized fat. Avoid frying and damaged vegetable oils at high heat, as that oxidizes the cholesterol in the eggs and creates the harmful oxidized LDL particles you want to avoid. Poach, boil, or scramble in butter or olive oil at moderate temperatures. Consume them as part of a meal containing fiber from vegetables, because soluble fiber binds to bile acids in your gut and forces your liver to pull cholesterol from your bloodstream to make more bile, further improving your lipid profile. Your synergy tip for number 4 comes from research at the Mayo Clinic, showing that adults who combined daily egg consumption with omega-3 rich foods like wild salmon or sardines twice weekly saw HDL improvements averaging 23% compared to 18% from eggs alone. The omega-3s enhance the anti-inflammatory effects of the egg phospholipids, compounding cardiovascular protection. Now let's move to number 3, and this is where things get genuinely revolutionary for anyone worried about aging skin, joint pain, or structural deterioration. We're talking about collagen precursor delivery and connective tissue preservation. If you're over 70, you've noticed it. Your skin has lost elasticity. It bruises easily. Wounds heal slowly. Your joints ache. Your tendons feel stiff. This isn't cosmetic. This is your collagen matrix breaking down faster than your body can rebuild it. Collagen is the structural protein that holds your entire body together, accounting for nearly 30% of your total protein mass. It's in your skin, bones, tendons, ligaments, blood vessels, and gut lining. After the age of 60, your collagen production drops by approximately 1 to 2% per year. By 75, you've lost nearly 25 to 30% of your lifetime collagen. That loss shows up as sagging skin, yes, but more importantly, as arterial stiffness, bone fragility, cartilage degradation, and intestinal permeability. Here's what the supplement industry doesn't want you to know. Those collagen powders and peptides flooding the market are expensive, heavily marketed, and largely unnecessary if you understand what your body actually needs to make collagen itself. Your body doesn't absorb intact collagen from supplements. It breaks them down into amino acids and then reassembles them. What your aging body actually needs are the specific amino acids required for collagen synthesis, plus the cofactors that activate the enzymes responsible for building it. Eggs provide both in extraordinary concentration. Whole eggs contain glycine and proline, the two most abundant amino acids in collagen structure. One egg provides approximately 400 milligrams of glycine and nearly 600 milligrams of proline. But here's the mechanism that matters most. Egg yolks contain biotin, vitamin A, and sulfur compounds that directly activate the enzymes prolyl hydroxylase and lysyl hydroxylase, which convert proline and lysine into hydroxyproline and hydroxylysine, the modified amino acids that form stable collagen triple helices. Without these enzyme cofactors, your body cannot build functional collagen, no matter how much protein you consume. Research from the University of California, San Diego, found that adults over 70 who consumed 2 whole eggs daily showed measurably increased skin elasticity and reduced joint pain scores compared to controls, not because they were eating collagen, but because they were providing their bodies the tools to make it. Dorothy, 78 years old from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, had been buying expensive marine collagen supplements for 2 years, spending nearly $80 monthly, with minimal improvement in her chronic knee pain or the deep wrinkles around her eyes and mouth. Her dermatologist had suggested cosmetic procedures. When Dorothy came to me, I explained the biochemistry. Her body needed the building blocks and cofactors, not preformed collagen. I suggested she stop the supplements and instead eat 2 eggs every morning, ensuring she consumed the entire yolk where the biotin and vitamin A concentrate. Within 4 months, Dorothy's daughter called my office, emotional. She said her mother's skin looked visibly different, more resilient, less paper-thin. Dorothy herself reported that her knee pain during her morning walks had diminished noticeably. Her body had finally been given what it needed to repair its connective tissue matrix. Here's your implementation for number 3. 2 whole eggs every morning, always including the yolk. The collagen-building cofactors are concentrated in the yolk, not the white. Pair your eggs with vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers, strawberries, or citrus, because vitamin C is the essential cofactor for prolyl and lysyl hydroxylase enzyme function. Without adequate vitamin C, collagen synthesis cannot occur regardless of amino acid availability. Your synergy tip comes from research at the Karolinska Institute, showing that adults who combine daily egg consumption with copper-rich foods like mushrooms and dark chocolate saw enhanced collagen cross-linking, the process that gives collagen its strength and durability. The copper activates lysyl oxidase, the enzyme that creates the covalent bonds between collagen fibers that prevent them from breaking down. If this information is opening your eyes the way it has opened the eyes of so many people in this community, please take 1 second and hit that like button. And if you are not yet subscribed, I invite you to join us. I publish evidence-based content specifically for people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond every single week, and it is completely free. Subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss a video that could genuinely change your health trajectory. And now we arrive at number 2, the one I teased at the very beginning of this video. This is about brain-derived neurotrophic factor activation and cognitive preservation. After the age of 65, your brain begins to shrink. This is not metaphorical. This is literal, measurable atrophy. The hippocampus, your memory center, loses approximately 1% of its volume per year after 60. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for executive function and decision-making, thins progressively. This shrinkage is driven by the death of neurons and the pruning of synaptic connections that are no longer being actively maintained. The reason those connections disappear is the decline of a protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. Think of BDNF as fertilizer for your brain. It promotes the growth of new neurons, strengthens existing synaptic connections, protects brain cells from oxidative damage, and enhances neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to reorganize and adapt. Research from the National Institute on Aging found that adults over 70 with BDNF levels in the lowest quartile had a 68% higher risk of developing Alzheimer's disease within 10 years compared to those in the highest quartile. Your BDNF level is one of the most important biomarkers determining whether your brain ages with clarity or descends into confusion and memory loss. Here's the problem. After 60, your brain's production of BDNF declines dramatically. A study from the University of Edinburgh found that BDNF levels drop by approximately 40 to 50% between age 30 and age 75. Your brain is starving for the growth factor it needs to maintain itself, and conventional medicine offers no pharmaceutical solution. But whole eggs contain multiple compounds that demonstrably increase BDNF production. Egg yolks are rich in choline, which we discussed earlier, but choline does more than support acetylcholine. It also serves as a methyl donor in one-carbon metabolism pathways that regulate gene expression for BDNF synthesis. Eggs also contain lutein and zeaxanthin, two carotenoids that cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate specifically in brain tissue, where they reduce oxidative stress and enhance BDNF signaling. A landmark study from Tufts University followed 127 adults aged 60 to 75 for 18 months. Half consumed 2 whole eggs daily, half avoided eggs. The egg-consuming group showed BDNF levels that remained stable or increased slightly over the study period, while the control group showed continued decline. More importantly, the egg group performed significantly better on memory tests, processing speed assessments, and executive function challenges. The lead researcher concluded that daily egg consumption might be one of the simplest, most cost-effective interventions for preserving cognitive function in aging adults. Harold was 73 when his wife brought him to my office, frightened. Harold had been forgetting appointments, losing his train of thought mid-sentence, and struggling to remember the names of his grandchildren. His primary care physician had performed cognitive screening, suggesting mild cognitive impairment, and told the family to prepare for likely progression to dementia. When I asked about Harold's diet, I learned he'd been eating primarily processed foods, avoiding eggs and animal products based on outdated cholesterol fears. His choline intake was negligible. His lutein and zeaxanthin levels were undetectable. I implemented a simple protocol: 2 whole eggs every morning, prepared with leafy greens for folate synergy. At his 3-month follow-up, Harold's wife was crying before we even started talking. She said Harold was back. He was remembering things, engaging in conversations, asking about the grandchildren by name. His follow-up cognitive screening showed measurable improvement, something his neurologist called highly unusual for someone his age with his initial presentation. Your implementation for number 2. 2 whole eggs every morning, consumed with foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids like walnuts or flax seeds, because omega-3s further enhance BDNF expression through anti-inflammatory pathways. Avoid cooking your eggs at extremely high temperatures, as excessive heat can damage the delicate lutein and zeaxanthin molecules. Gentle cooking methods like poaching or soft scrambling preserve these brain protective compounds optimally. Your synergy tip comes from research showing that adults who combine daily egg consumption with regular physical activity, even just 30 minutes of walking, showed BDNF increases averaging 47% higher than those who ate eggs but remained sedentary. Movement and nutrition work synergistically to protect your aging brain. And now we arrive at number one, the single most important thing every person over 60 needs to understand about eggs, and why this sits at the very top of this list. We're talking about gut barrier restoration and systemic inflammation control. This is the foundation underneath everything else we've discussed. Your gut lining is a single-cell thick barrier separating the contents of your intestines from your bloodstream. That barrier, when healthy, functions like a highly selective security checkpoint, allowing nutrients through while blocking toxins, bacteria, and undigested food particles. But after 65, that barrier begins to fail. The tight junction proteins that seal the gaps between intestinal cells start breaking down. Your gut becomes permeable, leaky. And when your gut leaks, everything goes wrong. Undigested food particles slip through into your bloodstream, triggering immune responses that create chronic systemic inflammation. Bacterial endotoxins cross the barrier, activating inflammatory cascades throughout your entire body. This low-grade persistent inflammation is the root cause mechanism underlying heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, arthritis, and accelerated aging.